Hello Internet, I'm Starkey from Driftworks, and in today's video we are looking at Phil's F87 M2. So we are putting on a prototype set of HSD Coilovers and some wheel spacers. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. So you've done 1,200 miles, and what does that mean?
It means it's time to wreck my M2.
Wreck your M2.
Basically 1,200 miles you have to do a running in service.
Oh, okay.
And then after that you don't have to do a service for quite a
Now
long
this
time.
service is pretty quick at BMW. They had your car for
the service was pretty quick, but they found an issue with rear dampers, which pain
on
in
a
the
brand new
arse.
car.
Yeah,
issues
but
with rear dampers
you
already.
know, warranty stuff, isn't it? So I got to drive an M4 for a bit, and that was wank.
That was miserable.
Yeah. So now we're going to wreck this basically.
So I mean, what is wrong with this car? As a standard car, I bet it's pretty incredible.
It's pretty decent. It's a nice daily driver. But what's wrong with it is the same thing that's wrong with most cars. Just
What was that?
like just a bit of arch gap. So it needs sorting out a little bit. I've already done some little bits and bobs with like black grills and stuff on it, which is M Performance stuff. But I want it to look like one of my cars and not like a standard car, basically.
So how are we going to fix this?
We're going to fix this hopefully by fitting a new prototype set of HSDs.
Very cool.
So yeah, we've got HSD MonoPros going on. We've got two versions of the kit that I'm about to prototype top mounts on one of them as well.
Okay.
So basically, stage one, we're hoping to fit HSDs, standard front top mounts, standard wheels, and maybe some spacers.
Because the wheels, I mean,
They're not too bad.
Come out a little.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the wheels too much, but yeah, they need to come out a
They're
little
better
bit,
than the wheels
especially
that
if we
was on the
drop
M4. They were awful.
Yeah, those competition pack wheels
Yeah.
are dreadful. So yeah, we're going to do that as stage one, and then stage two, we've got some real fancy wheels, which we'll show you in a bit.
Fancy.
And to fit those, I'm definitely going to need camber adjustable front top mounts. So I've created the design for that.
Yep.
We're just awaiting the first samples, and then that'll be stage two. But yeah, for a start, we're going to get it in there, and we'll probably just do a photograph of what it looks like.
Yeah, we need to just see where it's at, don't we?
Yep.
Cool.
Sound. Let's make a row. Goes on the back ones usually.
Right, how big is this car? I know it's like an M2.
It's kind of like more like E46 M3 size,
so it's
slightly smaller.
Still a big car then, compared to the older cars.
Well, the problem is that the M3 and M4, they're just gigantic and they're like boats. So that's why I went for this one primarily. I'm really glad I did as well, because the way that the M4 puts its power down is the engine's like a bomb going off in the M4,
right.
whereas this is a little bit more progressive. So this is a bit nicer to drive.
Has your car just locked itself?
Yeah, maybe.
Where are your keys?
In my pocket.
Oh, that's right.
Don't worry. I'm just taking the glory from Ross here. I'm pretending that I'm putting it on the ramp.
I'm too dirty for photos.
Yeah.
And not in the unclean, messy way. Provocative. So as this is a prototype kit,
Yeah.
how confident are you that it's just going to go straight on?
It should do. It should be fine. Yeah. We've done. We've already done some of the prototyping on Paz's. I can't remember what code that is.
140?
Is it the 135?
135.
Yeah, the 135, wasn't it? I can't remember what the code for that is, but it's basically the same way that with the E90 you have an E90 or E92 normal kit, and then you have an E92 M3 kit, which is like fatter dampers and bigger brackets and stuff. This is a similar type of thing, so essentially it's the same layout, it's just all a bit beefier. Here's a new one. So where's the wheel nut key, Ross? Is it in there? That's where it's supposed to be. No, that's the first aid kit, isn't it?
Just
Step away.
step away from the vehicle. There's your,
Here, I got it.
you got it.
Yeah. Right. There you go. Your responsibility. Your responsibility.
So we've come into the warmth.
Yes.
Left Ross out
Freezing
there.
outside. Yeah, Ross has started disassembling the rear. So yeah, just have a quick look at the kit, because we actually need to do a professional photograph of it as well for the shop.
This is not your best angle.
Is it not?
No.
So look at the rears.
These are fancy.
Yeah. So that's the damper adjuster. So basically,
Why is it there?
Because the top mount for the car, which it uses the standard one, bolts up from underneath. There's no access to damping adjustment on the top.
Just like a 350Z and the mini kits then.
Does that have that one as well?
They bolt from underneath, don't they?
Yeah, but so that gives you the adjustment there, and then it's adjustable that way for damper length as well. But pretty much most of the time, we recommend that most people just set them full short and lock them off. Fronts, currently, this is designed to just fit up underneath the standard top mount, so it's quite a weird looking top mount.
I don't quite understand how it works. So this is not attached, is it?
No. Well, it is once it's clamped in. So basically it clamps in through the normal top mount, and this sits in what is a bearing that allows this
because it's McPherson front, so it rotates, doesn't it?
Yeah, so we're actually going to design we're partway through designing a camber adjustable top mount version of this, which
cool.
will replace the whole top mount, and it'll have a spherical bearing in it.
And the adjuster's on the bottom on this as well, isn't it?
Adjuster's on the bottom, 16 weight damper adjustable, and it's got adjustable height for the anti-roll bar drop link as well.
What spring rates are these ones?
So these ones, I can't remember what I spec'd it with. I think it's 8K, yeah.
Okay. Is it quite a light car then?
It's lighter than because this is the same kit for an F80 M3 and the M4 as well. But that would use a much heavier rear spring rate. The front spring rate's not too different between those cars and the M2, but this one would have a lighter rear spring. So it's an inboard rear spring, slightly inboard, so the weights are different to some of the other cars, so the ratios are different. But yeah, 8K on this will be hopefully about where we're at. We might change it, we might change the kit once I've driven it. But
the thing is, they are normal springs, so we do have almost all the spring rates available, don't we?
This kit I've specifically designed so that we can interchange 200mm long springs. So we've got loads of these in stock up to like 20K, I think. So yeah, we can change that relatively easy. Once I've driven it, I'll sort of have a little think about what I want to change about the kit, and maybe change a few bits and bobs.
I mean, for a fast road car, you don't want it too soft, do you?
Nah. Well, you don't want it. You don't want it too hard either. Like B roads and stuff like that. That's what a lot of people use their cars like this for. You don't want it to be clattery and uncomfortable. But I will say that the standard M2 suspension, quite unimpressed with it so far. With
too hard?
Handles. It just seems to have weird rebound characteristics in the dampers. And there's one thing that
I don't know what does that mean? I don't know.
It's technical, Rich. Don't worry.
How?
But basically, one thing that we know, we found many times, is that just replacing like for like, even with HSD dampers, it seems to make a massive difference to how they handle. And as I say, we can tune the spring rates to suit the application.
Cool. I'll go photograph it.
Yeah, cool.
That's cool. And I can blind you at the same time.
I need sunglasses.
So, how hard is this kit to fit compared to like E46s, E36s?
It's really easy. It's taken me nearly no work at all.
How hard is this kit?
Apparently, I'm just working on the van today.
But like
I've just been out to drop the E30 shell.
But compared to like an E90, is it essentially the same?
It's very similar principle.
So it's got a pinch bolt.
It's a pinch bolt clamp, anti-roll bar drop link back here.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's not a lot to it. It's the strength and the adjustability that you're gaining, and the damping quality with the HSDs by fitting them. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly do this side. I might magically end up looking like Ross.
It will end up looking like Ross.
Yeah, get to it, son. Get to it, Phil. Come on.
Yeah, come on, Phil.
How's the back work? Is again the back just the same? That doesn't look like a E46.
No,
it's similar, but it's...
No, this is different. So this is the top mount, standard alloy top mount here, bolts up into the car body.
Oh, okay, that's a lot easier.
No access for the damper adjuster. So on the HSD dampers, we've actually built in the damper adjuster here, which we'll show you once it's fitted. But yeah, separate spring. We've got ride height adjustment on the spring there when we fit it, and then we can set the shock length as well. But
this looks like a different setup to an E46. It's an inboard spring, but the placement seems...
It's a completely revised shell, completely revised axle.
Yeah.
So there's no similarities at all in anything.
Because on an E46, the spring is in front of the damper?
Yeah, so none of that's the same.
Oh, okay.
It's a new car, Rich.
I know it's a new car, but I'd thought with it similar, we might have.
No, they do cross over a lot of things from one generation to the next, but this is new.
Is this similar to the E90?
In that it's
In
the
the
modern
placement
style.
and
yeah. But you can't fit like an E90 subframe or hubs or any of that to this. As far as I'm aware, somebody might correct it.
So this is a Craig Taylor approved ride height?
That's a bit mean. Yeah, this is the question customers always ask us about kits: is how high do they go? Will it go standard height, or some people even want it higher than that? Usually they're retards that don't realise that your wheels are hitting your arches because you've got the wrong wheels and tyres, not because of the suspension.
But you can fit stiffer springs, right, to stop that?
Yeah, but that's what I think. So can I have stiffer springs for my suspension because my wheels are hitting my arches? Wrong. So yeah, let's see what lovely height this ends up at. I reckon rear will be close to stock.
Close to stock.
Maybe a bit higher. The front's going to be like off-road spec. Have a look.
What even is this?
Do we even need a photo of this?
I'm not sure. It's fucking awful.
Like,
does there need to be any photo in the world of an M2 this high?
can you fit under that front bumper? Lie down.
I'm not getting on the floor. Do you want to get on the floor?
Can I fit under?
See whether you can do some engine work. Do you want to? This is if you want to change your oil regularly. Christmas weights. The Christmas weight's not working for you, Rich.
I can do everything.
You were hoping to impress us then, but there seems
I mean,
to
I
be...
can get under it.
No, you can't.
I'm under it.
No, you're not. Your belly's not under it. Oh yes. Oh yes.
That is ridiculous.
That is what we're talking about. looks like a lot of BDC cars.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be fun if you want to go drifting. Awful.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm not sure. We don't actually need to take pictures of this though.
So,
It's my Stance M2. Check out, it's on air, right? Oh no, wait, it's not.
could
So
you?
this is basically, again, customers ask questions. How low can I go? So basically,
Too low.
fully too low is how low you can go with this kit.
Like, how much camber is that added on just by going low? 3 degrees?
It's probably
4?
yeah, it's probably a close to that, but that's not actually very much camber gain. So that shows that it's pretty decent suspension setup.
Yeah.
All the arms are decent and everything, and there's still adjustment in the rear as well. But yeah, this is just purely for demonstration, and I think we need to move it to do a picture. But I'm a little bit worried it's going to tear the arch
how's the
liners
front
off.
looking?
The same.
To be fair, I'm sure you've got room.
If we did like a 27-point turn, it might be
I
okay.
reckon you go.
Let's see them.
It does look cool.
No, it does not.
Move it back a little bit and then I'll pull all the wood
Yeah.
out so I don't take the underneath part.
Like,
This is how you'd run it, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's great. Oh, on the back.
Might need to go over an inch. But whether you know.
Does scrape.
How surprising.
But basically, the rear only needs adjusted from backing on full low, I think.
Yeah.
Doesn't need raising it that much.
Nah.
Just enough not to make noises.
No.
So the big question is, could you run 18s?
Yeah?
Or would 18s make it ridiculously low? Like at this, if you put 18s on, you would be properly on the floor, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, the rolling radius depends on the tyres, obviously,
Yeah.
but they would be a little bit smaller. And I think you can just about fit some 18s over the front brakes of these, but they are gigantic, the new style BMW calipers, as you can see. There's not a great deal of room on the 19-inch standard wheels.
Yeah.
But yeah, people have successfully fitted 18s to these before. But yeah, this is not my cup of tea, ride height, let's put it that way. But yeah, we'll fix that in a mo after we've done some pictures.
They're on full low, it's not got any rate really, has it?
No?
Pretty balanced, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're just putting wheel spacers on?
Yeah. To make it wider.
Yeah.
Because it's not wide enough.
No, and that's the problem with the most standard wheels, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like functional, so
Yeah.
weak. So they work as wheels and they look okay. But as soon as you lower them, you notice all the gaps. So
You got locking bolt as well then?
yeah.
Cool. So these are just slip-on spacers with it. They've got a hub on them, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got like a spigot on them to centralise the wheels and stuff.
And then just normal black bolts and
Yeah.
new black bolts. What were the standard ones?
The standard ones, they were black.
Yeah.
They were too short.
Ah, okay.
So we've got the correct size bolts for front and rear spacers because we're running, I think, 3mm wider on the rear.
Yeah.
So they're all supplied from one of our suppliers.
Cool.
Obviously.
All available on the website too.
Yeah.
But have you done the ride height?
Yeah, I've made it higher.
No. It's disappointing.
Yeah, cool. Have an inspect.
It's amazing how simple spacers just completely change the look, don't they?
Yeah. That'll probably settle to where I want it on the front. The rear's too low, that'll settle too much. We need to go up probably 15mm on the rear, but it's inboard, so yeah, maybe like 10mm on the adjuster. But yeah.
Because how much would you expect these to sag once they've been on?
Normally springs will settle roughly 10mm, depends on the spring rate and
These are
how
quite
aggressively
soft, aren't
you
they?
use it. Yeah.
Would you say you're an aggressive user?
I think I am probably considered a relatively aggressive user, yeah. Yeah, so just wind the rears up.
I think this one looks lower because that rear's higher.
Right.
Hanging on the block.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll have a look where we're at with camber and clearance, because yeah, that looks snug. Yeah.
Snug is
Send her up,
definitely
let me
nice.
just have a look at the arch. That seems optimistic to me, but no, it's pretty good. Yeah,
What are you
pretty good,
checking
yeah.
for?
Well, how rolled the arches are, that they're actually almost non-existent, the roll on these. Like normally on all other BMWs, flattening the lip is quite a difficult job, and it's not necessarily something you want to do on a brand new car, especially when people probably have them on finance or
yeah.
PCP. So actually the clearance there is alright. We do still appear to have the classic BMW interference issue there.
So what is it you're doing then?
Nothing! Clearancing a little bit, classic BMW problem. So whenever you lower a lot of BMWs, you have an interference issue here, where there's basically the meeting of the bumper and the rear quarter panel. So I'm just clearancing it a little bit.
You're not doing that then?
So I've just been clearancing this issue here.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm going to point it at the bit for you. Because it's all painted, it's a bit hard to see now, but basically clearance that bit there, where the bumper meets the rear quarter panel.
So you're just doing the adjusters?
Yep.
4 clicks, was that?
Yeah, something like that. So it's just a starting point, because we're going to see how we get on with the spring rates as well. We might adjust that for the kit that customers buy, but we'll see. We're going to just stick the arch liner back in it now. and get it back on its feet, hopefully at its semi-final ride height, and then we'll give it a drive, see what happens.
So if we didn't have this thing,
Yeah.
what else could you have used?
I used to do it with just an angle grinder, and if you've got many hours, you could probably do it with a file as well, but a flap wheel on an angle grinder is a delicate way to do it. It's just obviously you got to be really careful you don't bounce off what you're working on in the inside.
Because not
onto the
everyone
paint on
will
the
have
outside.
access to air tools, will they?
You've also got to be really careful of heat transfer, so obviously it puts a lot of heat into the metal part that you're grinding out.
Okay.
So you don't want that to then transfer too much into the paint on the outside of the car.
Ah. Done this before?
Yeah.
Failed.
Just a few times.
Failed. Have you made mistakes in the past then?
No, but this is something you have to do on any BMW to get good wheel fitment.
Okay.
Every one I've done.
E36.
E36 still has it a bit though, doesn't it? It has a lump in it.
It has a lump. You grind the lip off basically.
It doesn't have the connection. But to be fair, you can go further than what we've done as well, because that bolt there, it's not doing all of the work. There's more bolts that go here.
Okay.
So if you really had it wheel fitment issues, then you could remove that bolt entirely and grind the whole lot back. So we'll see how extreme the wheels that are coming are going to be, because this is phase 1. Standard wheels with spacers.
Take 4?
Still perhaps a little bit low, but we'll see how it settles. So we're going to get it on the 4-wheel alignment now.
Cool.
Just check where we're at with the settings and do a drive.
What sort of alignment are you going to go for? Like basically the same as what BMW would do?
Stockish on this setup, yeah. So I want it to pretty much drive like standard, maybe a little bit more camber on the front and a tiny bit on the rear. But yeah, so we don't want it tram lining too much or anything like that. Then when we fit our aggressive wheels, we'll run more of a track-based camber setup and everything. But yeah, we want this to be sort of a OEM plus, for want of a better word.
Well, basically we want it so customers would do the same, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, so we can pull that out a little bit, can't we?
So is this aligned or is this straight off the back?
This is
free.
Yeah, straight off the ramp onto here.
So is this assuming that the car was perfectly aligned before we took the suspension off?
Yeah, which is quite unlikely because they're not usually that thorough. Their tolerances are quite broad.
Would they have realigned it after all the messing around with the back of your car?
Yeah, they would have done. Also, they should have done, definitely. The toes, as I'd expect it to be, it's equal both sides. It's just not the correct setting. So that's as a result of lowering alone. Increased camber, it's not too bad, but yeah, we are roughly almost half a degree different on that one. And then
That's the rear.
front, we're really close to spec there, aren't we? It's got more caster, but then I'd expect that a little bit, and then toe.
Why would you expect more caster?
Again, just as a result of changing the ride height. So yeah, we'll basically just tweak that. That's the tiniest amount on that. Do the back first.
Yep.
See whether that actually just neatens itself up naturally anyway.
What's wrong with them?
They don't fill the aperture very nicely. I think that could do with being just the OD of them being slightly higher. And then I've got to work out how to get rid of this stupid electronic diff, because that is.
Hasn't Paz found a solution?
For his car, but his car doesn't have any form of LSD at all, I don't think.
Oh right, okay.
It's just purely electronic, whereas this is an electronically activated diff, which means it kind of does stuff to save your life if you can't drive. If you know how to drive, it actually ends up nearly killing you. It spat me out a couple of times just unlocking the diff and straightening up for no reason. Yeah, we'll get on that one later.
Phase 4, 5.
Phase 5, yes.
Are you going to assist with taking the paddles off?
Yeah.
Is this Phil taking the glory, or did he help?
No, Phil did it all stop for him. He just gets shorter and fatter and better eyesight.
And better looking.
I'm not going to disagree. Payday soon.
That normally works. But yeah, there's too many hours left in the day to work and it poisons the whole office.
You can't even do a banner, I know, isn't it?
Nice try, douchebags.
Oh, more goggles and helmets and...
Nothing to see here.
a simple bolt-on modification.
Well, it's all about being prepared, isn't it? So we've flattened the lip a little bit already, because actually, unlike the rear, this does actually have a bit of a lip on it. So
oh right, okay.
I've already flattened this, but you've missed it basically. What I've done is tape it off, inside and outside, and then warm it up just with a heat gun.
Does that help with the paint?
Yeah, and then basically get yourself a block of wood. I'm not advising you do this, by the way, it's stupid. But yeah, a block of wood on the tape, so the tape's covering here as well, and then you basically flatten the lip.
Is that a soft hammer then?
Yeah, it requires quite a lot of
persistent
oomph though. It's not a nice thing to have to do to a brand new car. And neither's this.
Having worked on a Nissan, I'm guessing the metal is slightly stronger
yeah,
than that.
Yeah, it is. It's much stronger.
Not made of tin.
Yeah. So now, again, like the back, you've basically got an issue with
this thing here.
Yeah. So on extreme ones, you can take the bolt out and remove the whole lot. So we've removed the bolt here.
Yeah.
And you can see the bumper's still pretty firmly attached. So you could lose it altogether, but we're going to try and keep the bolt and just take away the bit that it's going to hit there.
Lovely.
So we'll see how we get on.
Scrape.
Yeah, scrape. Considering that was
on full lock, it's scrape.
That's on, yeah, but that's on full incline as well. We'll see.
It looks good though.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Yeah, that's badass. Just put some miles on it now and see how we end up.
Be better if it wasn't black.
But you think all cars would be better if they're not black? They wouldn't be. But look how cool the McCann looks as well.
I can't see it. Part 1 of Phil's F87 M2 fitting. Stage 2, we're going to put some work wheels on, and a lip and weight is here already.
It's very nice.
So we'll be doing another video just showing that, some of the more work we had to do to make this work. And yeah, any questions? Or
the more work we had to do to make this work with the work wheels.
With the work. Put Rihanna in here.
Nice.
So yeah, ask us any questions you want to about this car or anything we had to do, and happy to answer them.